morning, afternoon, and evening, Supercoach Elites. Welcome back to another Supercoach Elites podcast, proudly sponsored by our Patreons at patreon.com/SCElites and our mates at supercoachchampion.com. My name's Corey, and as always, alongside me is the Bonfz Express.
Choo-choo! That's right, Corey. The Bonfz Express is back. And I reckon for a second there, the people thought they were going to get a bit of Bretter action again. But,
Yeah.
I mean, in typical Brett fashion, either his dick's out or he's walking the dog. It's one or the other, Corey. But before we talk more about Brett's cock, Corey, where can the listeners hit us up on social media?
Find us on Twitter and Patreon at SCElites. Join us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, and YouTube at Supercoach Elites. A little bit of a plug here too. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please get across and just hit that subscribe button for us. The YouTube's great. I actually really like the YouTube, Bonfz. You know, there's a couple of nice comments out there. The YouTube community is pretty nice. So.
You know what? The YouTube's been good. You know why? Because I feel like you've had to remain engaged and active during the whole podcast. Because I reckon during the audio times, Corey, you were off taking a wee. Like you'd always go off to the toilet, and you'd give me this subtle cue that meant I had to waffle on for a bit until you came back from your piss break. And now if you nicked off, the people would know, Corey. So you've actually had to stay here and stay engaged.
Can no longer piss break, which is terrible.
Just don't tell the viewers you got a Gatorade bottle under the desk there, and you just fucking emptying into that.
The other thing is too, like I kind of have to look up every now and again. There'd be times where I'd sit down, I'd be looking at like what's coming next, and on the run sheet that's coming up week to week, and you would ramble on as you always do. And next, I just looked up, you'd like segue back to me about, yeah, I agree, Bonfz, good work, yeah. No idea what you're talking about. Wouldn't be until I re-listened to the potty on the golf course and hear what you're saying. But the fans will be excited. Golf chat's back this week, so that's always good. I did text you yesterday and said that I had a little story for you, and I was going to text it to you, and you're like, no, drop it live on air. So
yeah, I want my natural reaction later on.
Yep. Bretta, of course, no show. Absolutely fucking donuts this week for anyone that wants to have a go at him. I'll text him about 3 times to get on. And
and allegedly playing The Sims right now, according to Discord.
Can confirm if you go on and look at Brett's Discord file, he is on The Sims.
Okay, this isn't a live podcast, Corey, so they probably can't see that.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But he's probably a fair chance to be on for the next 48 hours anyway.
Hey, good segue, because tonight we are doing the live draw. Oh, shit. It would have already been out if you go back and check it out, because this is not either. So it's all over social media. Fuck, I'm in shambles today. But no, our Supercoach Cup draw is already done and dusted. It is up. Go check your group. Obviously, it's not up by the time we're recording because it is coming live tonight. So we don't know what group we're in. I really hope I'm in your group, Bonfz, because I'd love to eliminate you. But how do you think, like the 3 random Patreons or community members that have paid to get in, how do you think they're going to be feeling if they get drawn in your group?
I think, Corey, let's be realistic. There's no one else they'd rather take out. And to be fair, unless they're versing me, I think they're cheering for me. Do you know why?
Because they want to take you out.
They want to be the ones that take me out. So I feel like for the first time ever, I'm going to get a fair bit of support.
Yeah, well, we hope not anyway. He's getting a little bit too much support for my liking, especially on the Patreon. He's fucking the cerebral pest, is that?
Yeah, no, they seem to warm to him.
He's got a couple of fans in there.
I'm not sure why, Corey.
No,
that needs to stop.
Cash cows this week, mate. It's going to be, we'll talk about the 2 that we got on. Then I want to talk about kind of how we're approaching this crazy conundrum that we've got going on. Ling and Close. Now, I don't know if you watched both games of footy. I know you didn't watch last night because you were asleep, which is why we didn't record. Close was good. His forward half pressure was absolutely insane. But did you watch much of the Sydney game?
Who's Sydney play?
Hawthorn.
Yep, I watched that whole game.
How was Ling?
No good.
Yeah, that's not good. Hey, and Tobe Watson too last night, mate. He's a superstar.
I didn't see what did he score actually?
47.
Yeah, all I heard about him was that he's got a big intercept game. But I mean, like you said, I didn't watch the game, but I did watch the first half before I did fall asleep. Scaled up to 49 apparently, Corey, and yeah. I mean, Fremantle's backline is absolutely decimated. They got no one back there at the moment. I think Ryan was playing on Tom Hawkins last night.
Really good head too. This guy's, he would have had a little bit of action in his life. Tobe Ratatouille Watson. He's what we're running with now. I don't know. Not, were you awake for the
Where's
meme?
that come from? I've seen the memes.
Some bloke put it on Twitter, and then we went and decided to actually put his head on the Ratatouille body thing, and it came out real well. I'll flick it across.
Now, I bet you no credit was given to that initial tweeter, so it must have been.
No, I did. I gave him some credit, and I
was
gave
say,
him a retweet. And,
if no credit was given, Corey, I'd imagine it probably would have been Peter Lagata. He doesn't mind robbing off
he's a bit
few
of a thief,
he might see there, and then he just drops it.
Cannot confirm or deny last Thursday that he did steal the Egg Malise tweet. That's factual.
You can catch his tweets on the Elites page with the dash admin Peter down the beach. Just really wants to be known.
Keep a lookout for him every Thursday night moving forward. So look, are you grabbing any of them this week? Obviously, there's 3 trades, so there's a good chance. I'm having a serious look at Close. I think Close would be the one. Depending on who else is named, if Will Gould's named for Sydney, I might actually go a week early on him. I'll have a look at Ling, but there's a good chance. We'll talk about trades later on, but there's a good chance I might be grabbing 2.
Yeah, I think for me, the defender guys is in Watson and Ling, and if we've got another potential debutant, then I'll wait a week and pay a little bit overs for them if I have to, because their first scores weren't going to set the world on fire, so they're not going to increase dramatically. So for me, I'll grab Close this week.
Ken, you got 3 trades. Would you consider just using 2?
I mean, if you felt like you didn't have much to do, but I'd sort of, work around your bench and make sure you got a full playing depth there of players. And I think that's going to be important.
Sideways of like a Rivers or something.
Yeah, even like a Rivers down to, one of those defender guys, I'd be happy with that as your additional trade. I mean, you might pocket 40K, but at least you got a playing player potentially in the next few weeks too.
Thoughts on the extra trade?
Yeah, well, me personally, it come at a pretty handy time because my team's just fucking all over the shop, Corey. So for me, this is good because I can start to work on some of that depth kind of stuff and bring in probably a couple of underpriced primos, if you want to call them that, and go from there. I mean, traditionally, you know what? This week, I know there's 3 trades. Traditionally, we've been given now 3 trades during bye weeks. This isn't a bye week, so I'm not sure why it's come a week early, to be honest with you. So I would have liked to have seen 3 trades happen over the next 2, but probably not this week. But I've been given it, so I'll use it.
Yep. Before we get into the kind of situation, I'm going with a real value proposition. It's kind of the thing that I've written at the top of this run sheet. I almost said spreadsheet then. And what I mean by value proposition is I think you have to now start looking at those players that are unders and are prime for the picking. Bailey Smith this week, Hearn. We're going to have Duncan coming up. Tom Stewart's going to come up as well. So I get the whole, there are a couple of players that you must have and you must pick going forward. And we will talk about that later in the podcast, but I think you seriously have to look at these value propositions and the players that could hit that purple patch, because we talk about it every year. There are a couple of players that just have that run of form, whether it's venue, great fixtures that are coming up. And I think Shannon Hearn's last 2 weeks are a kind of prime example. West Coast are up and about, they're back at home, they're going to be looking good. And I think that just running forward, that you do have to look at that. Is that kind of the approach that you're going to have moving forward? Are you going to have a look more of that value proposition and picking up players that are at that right price?
No doubt. So my two ins this week in terms of primos will be Shannon Hearn and Bailey Smith this week. I'll bring the both of them in under price. So yep, they'll come in. I've obviously paid top dollar for Gawn and Neil, and a few other things haven't really gone my way, I feel like. So I feel like I need to save cash somewhere in order to get just some half decent plays on the field come year's end, Corey. So yeah, Hearn and Bailey Smith will come in this week, and then I'll look at Tom Stewart and Mitch Duncan over the next fortnight as well to get those guys in.
Someone who would have to use the 3 trades to get Bailey Smith, whether that's a downgrade or not, would you avoid maybe? And we spoke about this a little bit off air. So, and my theory here that I was looking at Bailey Smith. I've been crowing Bailey Smith's name for the last couple of weeks. Is I was going to get him last week, and then obviously went the week later because of Greenwood and Petrarca. For me, I'm probably going to pass on Bailey Smith now, simply because if I was to get him, I have to use all 3 to get him up for that Thursday night game. And I don't know who's going to be selected, what's going on. Is Brander back in? Is Hill going to have a chance to play? Is Doty any chance? So I think I'm going to have to pass on Smith this week and go for that Shannon Hearn. And I think my theory is here that again, this is a Tuesday night. I know we've got Wednesday, so it's a Wednesday game, not a Thursday. We've got the Wednesday game coming up. But I'm thinking, and this is my strategy, I think that I'm going to use through most of this actual carnage is waiting and holding and using trades right at that last minute. I mean, by looking at Hearn over Smith this week, it means that I can go all the way up until I think it's Saturday morning before I have to, and I can see teams' name before I have to actually make a decision on what trades I'm going to make. Yeah, I might miss out on a big score of Bailey Smith, but it may also save me a zero. Have you put any thought into potentially missing it, or would you just pull all your strings or whatever the fucking saying is there, and go pull your team apart to get a Bailey Smith on a Wednesday night at the risk of having a donut on a Sunday?
I'm fortunate enough to have Dev volunteer to exit my team this week, Corey. And I'm also fortunate enough to have enough money in the bank to go him straight to Bailey Smith on that Thursday night, and then I can worry about the rookies a little bit later on. I just want to caution you with this for anyone who might be thinking along your line of thinking there. I mean, Bulldogs have the first game this week, as we know. They also have the first game next week. So you don't grab Smith this week, he's price rising. Then next week, you're going to have the same conundrum where he's got the first game and you don't know what the fuck you're going to do with the other trades and all that. And again, he's going to price rise again. You could cost yourself $60,000. I'll say this, Corey. Next week, you've got buys. This week, you don't. You're probably more likely to have cover somewhere there to be able to, fill in, if someone like a Stephen Hill doesn't get up this week, as opposed to next week with, you could have a fair few players out next week, but it is best 18. So just have a look at, you use your show buys feature for those that are buy, Supercoach Gold. Just see how many you got playing in round 10. And if you can afford to pull it this week, then do it this week.
Yeah, nice. Anything else that you've thought about for kind of the structure that's moving forward with all this chaos?
No, not at all, man. Like for me, it's just, let's just wing it. It's just, my attitude on the season's probably been a bit poor, Corey.
That's changing. That's definitely changing. I can tell, mate. I talked about you being salty last week. I could tell you were fucking salty last night. That's for sure. Sunday night when you realised you lost at Dizzy, you were fucking salty.
Well, I knew that game was over about 2 games in. When he had Josh Kelly go 200, he had Dustin Martin 110, and he had Nick Haynes 130. Meanwhile, I had Bont on about 85 or whatever the fuck it was. So anyway, I mean, look, my strategy going forward is the buys aren't as bad this year because I guess the big numbers of teams we have playing over the first 2 buys here. So, you'll get best 18 those weeks and kind of just, roll with it and kind of pull your punches from there.
Selecting players, are you a little bit worried? With things like, Shannon Hearn, is he going to play that full fixture? Is there anyone in your team that worries you with, resting? I mean, I've got Duday, who's potentially could play this week, but I can't see him, playing probably 3 games in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it works out to be. Is there anyone that's really scaring you?
No, I mean, we'll cop injuries as we cop them. If someone gets rested, they get rested. I think these midfield type players, they'll just spend more time in the forward line. I think players want to play. I don't think they want to be rested. And they'll just manage game time. I mean, we saw it in the Collingwood game, what they did with Grundy. I mean, he just sat at full forward for the entire last quarter. You had a look at, some of the other games that were going on. They just did exactly the same shit, man. When the game was done and dusted, it's just like, okay, let's just protect the players who we know are going to have a heavy workload moving forward.
All right, I think that's enough for topics. I mean, for the topic of approaching the upcoming, it's going to be chaos. I know the Patreons are really going to lean on each other during this time, and we're here. I'm sure we'll be doing more live game chats and things like that too. So I think we'll be pretty busy tomorrow night. You ready for Who Am I?
Go for it.
Yeah, beautiful. Not as fun when Brett's not here now. I know, just a disclaimer, you already know who this one is. So
do I?
I've got 2, but I've bought you a second one. So maybe you just leave this one for the fans until I get to the last question and you can answer it. 5 of my 8 scores are 100 plus. 2 of them are 140 plus. I've only had 2 scores below 100 on the year. One's 98, the other one was 81. I play for a bottom 10 side. I'm a midfielder. Who am I?
No idea, man.
You don't know?
No idea.
Tuke Miller.
Yeah.
Very, very good. So that was Tuke, and we'll get on to that. But I did prepare another one because I didn't want you to steal my thunder, and I wanted you to have a go.
Okay, just for those that aren't aware, I mean, we were in some live chat the other night or whatever it was, and Corey sort of hinted at a What did you say? You said you started reeling off the stats, and then I whipped out a Tuke Miller.
Benny jumped on, and he's like, "Oh, I've got a good who am I for you this weekend." And he's like, Tuke Miller. And I was like, you fucking cocksucker.
He stole it.
Yeah, we started talking stats. And then, yeah. All right. Pay for a top 8 side.
Okay.
Besides my last 3 games, 2 out of the 5 games prior had been sub 100. My highest score is 162.
From your last, how many games did you take out? Sorry.
No, so besides his last 3.
Okay.
Yep. I have a 3-round average of 130 plus. I pay for a top 8 side. Lowest score 61, highest score 150. I am a midfielder.
Oh. That whole, apart from the last 3 weeks.
I can give you another one. Last year was by far my best ever year of football. I played
top 8
for
team.
Yeah.
Oh, Jared Lyons.
Nope. Played for a team last year that I do not play for this year.
Oh, Jack Martin. No, he's not top 8 team. It's got to be a Saints player. Did you say last year he played for a different team?
Yep.
That stumped me.
It's Tim Kelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. Tim Kelly's put on 140, 106, and 150 in his last 3 weeks. And he looks like he's bonding really well. They're back home now. I know we're talking about Hearn. But is Tim Kelly potentially one of those real left field picks that people can be looking at to have a little bit of fun with their season? Right now, I think I like him better than Gaff.
Yeah, Gaff's been shit since we gave him the endorsement, didn't we, about 3 weeks ago? Meanwhile, hold on, just actually on Gaff, what did he score on the weekend?
130.
I thought that was like genuinely his best game for the year, and I was expecting maybe a 170 or so.
Yeah.
Again, he's
Tim Kelly 150.
They had a lot of plays. I mean, Josh Kenny kicked 7 goals and only scored fucking 150 or whatever it was.
Yeah, Nick Nantnui just pulled Grundy's pants down and dropped to 84, but that's a discussion for another day.
Look,
it would have been 600, but all right.
Is Tim Kelly probably better than Andrew Gaff right now? Yes. Do I feel like there are probably 8 midfielders I'd rather than Tim Kelly? That's also a yes. So for me, I like if he was priced at sort of 500 flat, I'd be like, yeah, all right, I can sort of see it. But 550, you're kind of getting into the territory where you can get some genuine Supercoach stars.
What about Tuke Miller?
Yeah, that one there I like better than this fella Tim Kelly, to be honest. And the reason is just consistency on the year. Role within the team's never going to change, and he looks the goods, to be honest.
Great tank.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to go Tuke Miller over who are we talking about?
Kelly. Do you reckon Tuke can be top 8?
Well, 113 probably will get it done. There's probably not many players averaging over 113 that are mid only.
I think he's been fantastic all year. I wanted to who am I him last week, but I just waited the extra. And
you copped a good score on the back of it. Yep. It's a very good weight. But I mean, if you have a look, how many players are averaging more than Tuke at the moment? I think it's 7 or 8.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 players averaging more than him. One of them is Dylan Shield, who we would not want to go near. And 2 of them are Josh Kelly and Clayton Oliver, whose averages are probably skewed by those big scores on the weekend.
Yeah. Could we potentially just be in a form patch though?
It's been 8 weeks of form. I think it's bigger than a form patch.
Continues it for the rest of the year?
I say, why not? I mean, what's the bloke, 26, 27 now?
He's
a leader of that club.
Yeah, he's our age.
Yeah.
26. Yeah.
So he's done something good with his life.
Yeah. We're pretty good on a podcast.
Touche.
If Supercoach was a drinking game, I could probably take him off. I'd be peak Ablett. Let's play a bit of a game. Going to reel off some names down defence, midfield, forward line, bit of rucks.
Mm-hmm.
You give me must own or not?
Yeah.
Sicily.
Must own. Yep.
Boyd.
Yep.
Dockers.
I feel like everyone's going to have him. He's if you have him, then yes, but he's not a must bring in.
Okay. Ridley.
Not a must own just because of his price right now.
Hearn.
I think at that price, I think he falls into the bracket of, there's probably not too many of these underpriced premiums you can pay in the back line, and to call him a must-have is a little bit hard. But he's say there's 3 of them in that mix, and you need 2 of them. He's kind of in that conversation.
Haynes.
Must-have. What's his price?
540-ish, I'd say. Maybe a bit more now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Probably a must-have. Yeah.
And Maynard was one that's kind of falling now.
Yep. Good stuff. Him.
Beautiful. That was my defenders. Anyone else that you think is a must-have down back off the top of your head?
I just think at Tom Stewart's price, he falls into that conversation with
Same as Hearn. Yep.
Yeah, and it's kind of, how many of those players can you kind of run?
Yep. Go to the mids. Lockie Neal.
Yeah, obviously.
Dangerfield.
No.
Trelaw.
No.
Larry.
There isn't many must-haves. I'm gonna stop you there, Corey. There's not many must-haves.
Let's keep going though.
No.
Josh Kelly.
The only thing that scares me is this next 4-week period. I think after this 4-week period, yes.
And then the one that I didn't mention before. So there's 2. I had Duncan as well, just purely at that price factor too.
I think Duncan's a yes must-have. Yep.
What about Jack Steele?
Yeah, getting in the conversation.
Who was almost my who am I this week?
Yeah, and when you said top 8 teams, you hear me go, Jack.
Yeah.
And then I realised, no, it's not going to be him. Yeah, look, Jack. I mean, he's averaging 121 and continues to put up numbers. At 5'9", at sub 600. I know people are going to get a bit of an eggplant emoji over Clayton Oliver. They're going to get it over Josh Kelly. But if you want someone who will just continually put up some numbers for you at sub 600K, I'm more inclined to take Jack Steele.
For those listeners who don't know what the eggplant emoji is, it's actually a fat cock.
Shit.
I just thought, I don't know why, but when Brett came, like when he didn't say dick or whatever it was that week, it just came to my head, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to run with fat cock here.
You're just going to go for it.
Forwards, Greenwood.
Can I say?
No.
I mean, apart from Parker's one game of 45, he hasn't dropped under 109 in every other game this year. And, just for those that have got an eye, his break even is 63 this week. He's 530K. He should probably be on people's radars.
There you go, Crispy. You can get Duncan and Parker. Did you see the message from Crispy saying thank you?
No.
He sent us a big thank you. You would have been asleep. Sent us a big thank you last night. Greenwood, up forward.
Yep.
Petrarca.
Yep.
Baz.
Yep.
Simpkin.
No.
Whitfield.
Yep.
Dusty.
Nah, give or take.
Brayshaw.
I have to see it when 5 comes back.
Yep. And that's it. No one else for your dad?
I think Walters is a must-have. I think he just constantly gets
Mickey
overlooked.
Walters, don't even know how. Yeah. Wow, yeah. Bro, no, you wouldn't have seen his dive last night was a pisser.
It just does not get enough respect, I feel, in the whole forward line conversation, to be honest. But Walters is fucking some sort of player, man.
Go back to 2017 CB and see how he feels.
That's probably why you keep ignoring him.
Yeah, exactly. Rucks, Gorn.
Yeah.
Grundy.
Yeah.
Can you pass on Gorn at the price now? We're going to talk about it when we get to our question
Very
section.
Tough.
So,
I think, he's averaging 153. This is as high as his price gets. He's one game away from probably, going off a cliff in terms of price. Like
Nick Nat's a player that I don't trust at the moment. Goldie's score's about to absolutely plummet. The day that Nick Nat's probably out, I think I'm going with Goldstein just at the price thing. And then with the extra trades, I'll have a look at Gorn at the back end of the year. I still don't have him. I'm shitting bricks, but you put it great last week. You had to get him because you had Pitt and A. I think if you have to upgrade your ruck and you can afford it, there is no better than Gorn. You're paying for 2 rather than 1. But right now, it was the question last week. I got Petrarca. What was my thing? It would have been Petrarca and Nick Nat Nui versus Gorn and Townsend. and Pachaka and Nick Nui still won that out. So you got to weigh that up. And right now I'm just buying the value, and I'll deal with it come the back end of the year. But fuck, he's almost killing me every week.
Yeah.
I think I'm one primo up on most teams at the moment, so it's actually helping come into those head-to-head games. But
well, you'd have the money there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, that's
You
the
haven't
thing.
bought corn.
It's fucking shit, but I can tell you that much.
Can I say, I know you banged on, and I'm rewinding the podcast here a fair bit, but a couple of, when you spoke about these players, cash cows, and we rattled off the ones that have debuted. Don't forget, there's Georgiades
yeah.
at 179k, and Ben McKay in defence at 191 as well, who's gone back-to-back 70s.
Are they not overs, you reckon, at the price, or just because you've seen two absolutely
probably? But you've seen some better scoring.
Don't forget about Georgiades. It was a 56-point second quarter.
Yeah, and it was a 7-touch, 1-goal game for his big score. But I just thought it was worth noting.
Yeah, I don't mind it. King was good. I actually versed King, freaking hell, Mackay. I versed him this week. I paid it at him. That scared the shit out of me.
He wasn't good.
Nah. Wow.
Freaky. That whole identical twin shit is real freaky too, because you couldn't tell him and Harry apart. I reckon. I know Harry wasn't on the field, but
if they lined up against each other, it would have been great.
I was watching it with the missus, and she turned around at one point. And she goes, "Does he play for North now?" And I said, trades happen at the end of the year, not the middle of the season, you dickhead.
Yeah, bloody idiot. We'll leave that one. Go to the keeper. Questions. We'll go questions first, and then we'll chat golf chat.
Hold on. Is my Supercoach logo backwards?
No.
Fuck, on my computer, it's backwards. Don't worry.
Mine, it's fine. I don't know what it's looking like on YouTube. That's for sure.
If it's backwards, I don't know what's happened, but that just might be another glitch.
I think you've got the old logo on too. Not the old
maybe
one.
That's what it is. I don't know.
Too. Anyway, Dizza, the cerebral press. Hey mate, how did Bonfz go in the Elites Div 1 Cash League? Who did you play, and what was the result?
I haven't logged into Supercoach since, man. Not too sure.
Smart, very good. Actually, we didn't talk about our week.
I actually scored 21.33 on any other week. That seems like half decent.
You beat me. I scored like a 20.90 or something like that.
I went up 2,500 spots too.
Shit, I dropped. Table King, the go-to weekly potty. Lucky I didn't bet on unders in the Pies versus Eagles game. Coolly barely a contest post the first quarter. Cheers. Go fuck yourself.
Is that what you tipped him?
Nah, I wouldn't have tipped unders. Surely. If I did,
feel like I always go over.
I would have been extremely intoxicated. Took a donut defense due to Hill, thinking of booting both Smith, Essendon, and Rosie. Bringing in Watson for some extra rookie cover, and Elite Neil, break even 170. McRae, break even 78. Sorry, and an Elite, full stop. Neil and McRae. Neither Richmond or Essendon tag. McRae hits the exceeds BK. Neil, decent chance to score 150. Who are you thinking? McRae at that price.
Yeah, I like McRae at that price too.
How good's McRae been? Actually, how good's McRae's second half's been?
He had a full game on the weekend.
Yeah. But
it was 87 at half time.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Hot shame. Who is everyone trading in Gorn to this week for the extra 3 primos? Now, that's a little bit of an inside joke because I don't know if you seen it the other day. He, after the game, dropped the kind of the fishing rod out and said, would it be worth trading Gorn to pick up an extra 2 primos elsewhere? Fucking the chat went bananas.
Yeah, okay. Did not see that at all.
He had a good little win on the weekend too, I think. Fucking Supercoach punters was going off this weekend. What was it? I think Table King had another win for the punters club. I think he's the only one to go back to back. I think Lordy had another big weekend, boss.
I saw he had $50 on some fucking dickhead first goals. He had $50 on close.
Yeah. Did he back Smith as well?
No, he backed Zach Tui. Oh, no, Smith for what team?
Yeah, he had 50 on Smith on Thursday night too. He's a fucking good punter.
Who played Thursday?
Yeah, Bailey. Kicked the first goal. He had 50 on him.
That cunt's going to... Oh, sorry.
He's so good.
That person's going to get
that's 3 weeks in a row.
He might be a good punter, but he just ends up bringing it to the poker table on a Friday night and loses it all to us.
I reckon even I'll play better than anyone Thursday night.
No, you won, didn't
Friday
you?
Night, and I was down a bit.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, who? Lordy. Yeah, probably. Fernstez, what do we do with Devon Smith?
I'm trading this week. I've had enough.
Yeah, I don't own him, but I'd probably just hold him. because I reckon there's heaps of other shit you could do. Achlin Zahn, 888. Etchison? I don't know how you pronounce that. Is Shannon Hurden worth considering now? Last two scores are 93 and 114.
Yeah,
so it wasn't 140, it was 114, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting him. Benny Rothberg, after a terrible week last week, I'm on track for 2.250 at the moment with
Actually,
Simpson.
I might bring in Parker instead of Hearn. Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
Simpson are playing a pack of golf balls in the back pocket. I do owe Benny a pack of golf balls. Got to ride the wave. So this is the other thing about being an elites member. You can take advantage of me when I'm intoxicated. Score some pretty good bets. With Star, Stev, Max King missing their BEs, who goes first or all three? I was scared about Doherty. Corey, is Baz a must? With Tom Stewart coming back with a 195 break-in, will he be the same price as Hearn come in roundish 430k? Hearn v Stewart. I like both.
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up with both, but if I had to pick one, it would be Stewart.
I think Baz is a must too.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me. The funny thing is, I know it'll come to tomorrow, and I'll be like, yeah, I need Bailey Smith. I'll use all three trades, and I'll probably run a fucking donut somewhere this week. Millsy replied to a fucking comment. What a dickhead. Wado, time to fuck Goldie off for Gone.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, pull it now before you get a huge dip from Goldie.
And me, I've got Goldie Black booked at the moment because I know how cheap it'll be in a couple of weeks. Benny Rothberg, Corey trying to read without his glasses on. There's a spoiler on this photo, so I can't even see it yet. Very good. You seen the photo?
No, I might just open it up.
Yeah. It's Mr. What's his name out of Mr. Chow out of Hangover. He's got the piece of paper. I don't think it's from Hangover. He's like,
yeah.
Wait till you see the photo he's using my head too. He's actually cropped it from the podcast.
I just saw. That's what I was laughing at. Good. Yeah.
Probably put that up on Twitter, I reckon.
Your profile picture?
Yeah, smart. My profile picture's changed like 6 times this week. It's Toe Watson at the moment. Has 6. Oliver, I must have in the midfield. No buy, just super consistent with reduced breaks.
No, not a must have, but
handy can get him.
I mean, yeah, he does every year. You can just lock him in for 110. Remember last year we were bitching and moaning about how poor he was,
I know.
Averaging 110 still.
Yeah.
And look, he's doing 110 again. And if you look at his scores, I mean, he's only dipped below 100 twice, and there were scores of 96 and 99.
I'm actually filthy this year because it was him or Fife to start the season. And I went Fife, and I was like laughing up to the bank at the start. And then Fife goes out. I trade Fife to Titch, and it's just fucking went down in a spiral from then. Dazza. So I forgot to trade Pitt as he had the early game Saturday. He's done a Bonfz there. I've backed up with Cripper 56 as captain, Cripper VC and DeGrundy as captain. So I don't really have a question as I'm as bad as Brett and Supercoach sucks. But how the fuck are shit Essendon? Oh, but how fucking shit are Essendon played the bottom team with 2 senior players on the bench from halftime and fucking fall over the line. And they wonder why they have been irrelevant for 15 years. Fuck it. Need a bit more grammar in there, I reckon it does.
Look, Corey, the only thing I can say to that is Essendon's trying to break the record of how long Daz has been irrelevant in his own life for.
How good was my multi on the weekend, the one I tweeted? Brisbane into Essendon into Geelong. Fucking, that only just got over the line, that's for sure.
Winner's a winner.
Oh, mate, if Essendon had fucked that, I would have smashed them. Literally would have smashed the whole club. Speaking of that fucking useless team, I still haven't got my membership back.
Really?
Yep.
You might want to follow up.
Fuck them. They can get fucked.
Actually, you didn't even buy it now.
I want a rebate. I got the receipt. Don't worry, I've already posted it, so fuck you. Hot shave. Hope everyone is well. Legends, thoughts on Tobias Green, injury prone, which we all know, priced at 471, break even of 91 prior to his 3-vote game versus the Tigers, scored 166, plays Gold Coast, Bombers, has the bye, then Swans, could be 320 and has a good bye.
Yeah, fair point. Obviously, the fixture looks good. The thing with Toby Green is, or Tobias as he likes to call him, he's just been hit and miss this year, has he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got to kick goals at the moment because there's just no room in that midfield for him.
Yeah, and he will kick goals. We know that. But super player. I just don't know if I ever trust him in Supercoach. That's the problem. Supercoach, I feel like you've got to trust.
Ando James, is Jared Lyons worth considering? If so,
No.
is it dangerous to have Neil McCluggage and Neil? But I think
he meant Lions. No, don't get Lions.
Yeah,
I know he's averaging 117 or so, something like that, but no.
I think it's risky enough picking McCluggage, and
Yeah,
he's
I think Lions probably been better than McCluggage this year.
Yeah, Lyons is just like so unnoticeable out of the pitch as well. Like you watch a
100%.
Brisbane game and it's just like he's just got your regular Joe haircut and just doesn't really do much. Like he does heaps, but like it doesn't really do much to put him out. He's just a real hard looking player. Frog, I've seen a few rookies who have already had price rises pump out some good scores on the weekend. Would you condone looking at going late on any of Georgiades, Darcy Cameron, Hamill, McPherson and co? That's Hamill with a big score on the weekend too.
Yeah. My situation, I'm going to avoid
probably,
all
sorry. You could probably add Sarong to that list as well. I think he's
Sarong that cheap.
218. He's 218.
Surely not, man. He played like 5 games by now.
Maybe it was last week. He was
283, bro.
Oh no, fuck that.
Last week he was like 250-ish too.
There you go. What a game that was from him last night too. He better be a rising star. Yeah, but yeah, answer the boys' question.
Oh, I think I did. I said in my situation, I'm not getting any of them.
Do you have Georgiades, mate?
No, I don't.
Shit, I thought you did.
And because of the late-in situation, trades already made, all that kind of jazz, I probably would have looked to bring him in at 130, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, if I'm going to get one of them, the one I would get it would be Georgiades.
I think at this point in the season, you probably just go a little bit lower, don't you?
I think so. I think money's hard to make, and it's going to be hard enough to get rid of rookies on your field. So, yeah, I mean, hence the reason why I'm looking at Hearn, Duncan, Stewart, and Bailey Smith.
Yeah, Ando's not wasting any time. Captain options: Gawn into Neil or Neil into Grundy.
No, so I mean anything into Gawn.
Yeah, I just think you just go Gill. You go the Gawn, the VC into Lockie Neil. You're taking it anyway.
I think you're going to take whatever Gawn dishes up, and that's why I like the idea of going into Gawn. Like last week, same kind of thing, and I went McRae into Gawn. So obviously I ended up taking McRae's score. You're never going to risk not taking.
But is there always that fear factor that Gawn could drop a 200?
Yeah, but then what am I losing? 30 points in McRae's big ass score.
Yeah,
I mean realistically, the line when you go into Gawn's got to be 140.
Yeah, I'd be going Gawn into Neil.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, this week Melbourne play the second game of the round. Sorry, I wasn't aware of that. So you ask. So essentially, would I go VC McRae into Gawn, or would I go Gawn into Neil?
I'd go Gawn into Neil.
Is that because of Essendon?
Gawn's just a fucking gun.
But then, don't you feel like you waste your VC? Like if you just know Gawn's going to put up some numbers, like he's going to versus Ladham.
Yeah, but you always take that. I think if you've got the best player, you might as well just see what happens. Because if something goes wrong with the captain, like if something ever goes wrong with your captain, and say Gawn done a knee in the first, you're taking a 3, you're pissed off. Where if you could VC that, I mean, my theory has always been the same. If you can VC the best, VC the best.
Yeah, okay.
Get that best possible score out there. Because, if Gawn scores over 130, you're taking that. Whereas you need someone else to score over 140, 150 to be confident in taking it. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel anyway.
That's just how I feel.
Kavaka's pissing me off at the moment because he loves Dizza, so we're not friends.
Let's just skip his question then.
Who is taking bulk of Adelaide's kick-ins? I like Kavaka. He's very active.
I don't even fucking
know. I don't even know who takes any of their kick-ins.
I think I've watched one game of Adelaide this year.
Did they play on the weekend? Essendon.
And that was the game I watched. I think that was the first time I've actually seen them play footy. And I think I might have watched them the week before, actually. And I can't say I've noticed particularly who did kick in. I don't know. Nothing's sticking out to me.
Benny Rothberg wants us to run through our teams, how much cash, trades left, trade scheduling. I reckon we could do this real quick. We don't have to actually run through our teams. But I got 18 trades. Obviously, 3 in the bank still to be used before this week. 40K because I done that huge up last week. What are you sitting at?
17 trades, 150.
Yeah,
in the bank. 150K, that is.
Yeah. Sicily, Haynes, Ridley, Dockers, Dodie, Hill.
Are you wanting me to read my back line?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Thought
man.
that was blatantly obvious.
No,
Brandon
sorry,
McCasey.
mate. I thought that might have been the next question. Sicily, Ridley, Doherty, Laird, Day, Williamson.
Fuck, his lead's carrying her.
Hasn't he gone back-to-back 90s? I think he went 107, 97 the last couple of weeks, I think.
I don't know. I feel like that's bad in a year when like the back line's so good.
I feel like it's enough to not make him a problem.
Hey, by the way, my prediction of Sicily being the number 1 defender this year. I think it's going to happen. Midfield, Neil, McRae, Dangerfield, Titch, Whitfield, Cripper, Simpson, Bennell.
Neil, McRae, Titch, Bont, Whitfield, Cripps, Devon Smith, Simpson.
So I like that. We've both got the loopholes in our midfield, which I think is pretty vital at the moment. And I've obviously got Rivers, McHenry, and Buderick. I traded McHenry last week. Okay. McInerney, however you fucking pronounce it.
McInerney, Buderick, Robertson for me.
Yep. Grundy, Nat Nui, Cameron.
Gorn, Grundy, Bailey Williams.
Yeah. Petrarca, Greenwood, Simpkin, Taylor, Rankin, Georgiades, King, Arts.
Petrarca, Simpkin, King, Taylor, Hill, Rankin, and then Sturt, Cameron.
One good thing that I noticed about both of us is we've got a fair few playing rookies in there too, which I think is very, very handy at this stage.
I've only got 2.
No, I mean in your team, you only got 2
on the bench.
Yeah,
2. And Darcy Cameron's one of them, so I was kissed on the dick by him coming in. Otherwise, it was just Buderick.
Wow. Okay. Well, your team's shit then. You're fucked during this period.
I got to top. That's why I'm looking forward to these 3 trades. Well, look, Sturt should be just about back in. Let's hope Darcy Cameron can hold. Buderick's always going to play. McInerney's going to get traded this week, and then I've got Brander and Rivers, who I'll probably deal with next week.
I'm only going to be missing 2. Options. There you go. Kavaka, let's run through. Kavaka was maybe we get Diz's team details after what he did to Bonfz on the weekend. So I told you, he's fucking ruined Dizza.
I reckon they're private texting.
I reckon it's probably Diz's second account.
Yeah.
Penny, Sicily or Lloyd for Dodie. Well, I think Dodie's touch and go now.
Yep.
And the thing that I'm thinking with this is I'll probably hold it because I think there's going to be a lot of players that miss during this period. And if he misses now or misses next week, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, within inside the 4 walls. Admin Will, would you condone Gaff after 130 on the weekend, or was that a destruction of Collingwood too hard? A good read.
Prefer Parker and Duncan, and just on Parker, I know, 30 break even, and he's 530k, but he'll probably walk into a Jack Steele tag this week as well. So I might even just wait a week on the Parker.
His next one was, would you grab one of Treloar, or who would you grab of Treloar, Oliver, or Petrarca?
Oliver.
Even though that you can use Petrarca as...
No, you can't. He's a forward only Petrarca. Petrarca, because Petrarca's top of his position.
Yep. Duncan, Merritt, Gaff was from Frogger.
I pick him 1. How would you rank him?
How would you rank him, and including the fact that Merritt's already had his bye?
Duncan, Gaff, Merritt.
I think I'm Duncan, Merritt, Gaff in that order. Gaff's just scaring me too much that I don't like the risk that's involved with him at the moment. But he's 220s away from me going, fuck it, let's get Gaff again. And he asks, I think I'm holding Duday this week. But I'm going to go all the way up until the Saturday and see, as much information as I can get out of it. Duncan versus Gaff was from Benny. I'd go Duncan.
Yep, Duncan.
What players are on the ban list for a Punters Club multi? I mean, both
Devon Smith, Tom Lynch.
Tom Lynch.
Is this fucking Jetters? Oh, no wonder why he's fucking.
What does that name do to you, Bonfz, when he pops into your mind? Is that Tom Lynch?
Tom Lynch?
Yeah.
Well, look, if you want to, because both Tom Lynches are sacked. I reckon the only sack Tom Lynches is getting into, Corey, is probably Sophie's.
Oh, God.
Well, Sophie from Big Brother, Corey.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, no worries.
Kavaka, is Dizzy the GOAT?
This is another one. This is a fake account again. He's just,
Has 60, you reckon Melbourne/Essendon players will cop a rest given no buy? So many people jumping on them, but no guarantees that Merritt/Gawn don't get rested after backing up the game. Gawn's an interesting one because they've got quite a few ruckmen there that could probably let him have a rest.
I don't think it's going to happen.
He's a competitor though,
It's not going to
and
happen.
he's the
Gorn,
captain.
I can't see Gorn getting rested.
And they're shit. Little Peanut, should I bring in Neil? Or grab some value instead? Playing for league, I reckon grab the value. Neil's coming down in price. Just make sure that you've got the cash there to set up for it.
And you should be able to do that given, you've got three trades for the next 3 weeks. So, I'd probably get Neil next week or the week after, just as he's, break even, just until he loses that 87 he's rolling. So let him play 2 more games and grab him, I reckon.
Yeah, Herb 13 is Georgie Artie's a must rookie now that Marshall's injured.
No, seven disposals, 1 goal for his fucking big score.
I think he'll stay in there though. Eli 50-50. I know Essendon Melbourne game was postponed, but any news of the AFL, if that's their buy, or are people just assuming this? I think it's just common knowledge.
No. I think that's common knowledge. So that's I'd take that as fact. That is their buy, and they won't have a buy moving forward.
Dizza wants to know who's ranked higher, Corey, Bonfz, Brett, or Dizza. I think I'm ranked the highest. Dizza, you in my ear here? What's your rank? What's your rank? He's not ahead. He's not ahead of me. He's talking shit. Also, how did Bonfz go in a previous game week? Is he going for 2 straight this week? Fucking, he's a pest. Dizza reckons he's ranked the highest, just so everyone knows he's in my ear. That's it for questions.
That's it.
Okay, so Dizzer is just ranked slightly higher than me. He's 11,867, he reckons. Okay, beautiful. Well, that's my goal for the year. Bonfz, you got any golf stories? Time for golf chat. Golf.
we need an intro for it. No golf stories to report, Corey. Nothing funny or worth noting. I guess I hit my first par 5. My first par on a par 5 actually today.
Yep.
Still got my golf uniform on actually.
Which and you did today?
I missed that birdie by 20 centimeters as well on that stroke too, and that would have been my first birdie ever.
So and I hit my first par on a par 5, so my first par 5 last Thursday. And I credit it to I was playing golf with Big Lukey, and he was talking Supercoach that whole hole. So I was paying fuck all attention to the golf and hit a par 5.
I told you, you're in your happy place. That's why you did
that's it.
I was just going to comment on something now. I forgot what it was. So that's right.
Okay, cool. Because I've got a good story for you. The one that I was going to say. Now, I'm not going to mention where I played. You know where I played. We play there quite a bit.
Yeah.
But super fucking funny moment. So we go out there. Now, Big Lucas doesn't have a buggy. He doesn't have a push buggy. We get there. Now, I'll take you back to the Wednesday for him. So Luke's gone and played out on the other side of town somewhere. He works out that way, so he's gone and played afterwards. And he's gone on his own for a hit, and he's rocked up there, and they've matched him up with Grace. So he's gone out to play golf. Man, no, you'll be going out. You'll be teeing off with Grace today. Now he walks out there, and Grace is a 60-plus-year-old Asian lady as he walks out to the first tee box. And
the fact her name is Grace is just funny enough.
Yeah, you've played golf with Luke before. There tends to be a couple of sprays going out of that course. So Luke's teed off. He hasn't teed off very well.
Yeah, so he puts down another 8 balls.
Yeah, so he hasn't teed too well. So apparently Grace has walked up to the tee box. Boom, straight down the fairway. So they walked up. I think Big Lukey's hit about an 8 or a 9 on the first, and Grace has parred the first hole. Anyway, so she's giving him tips and pointers all the way through, and he's like, we got to about the 6th, and she just gave up on him. And he kept saying oh, you go through, and she just stopped giving him tips. So Big Lukey's not going to
was she telling him to keep his head down, Corey?
Yeah, giving him a bit of the Big Lukey back to him, but he's not going to like that. Anyway, we went and played Friday, and we've rocked up to our favourite golf course, and he's carried the bag on the Thursday and walked around. He's like, oh, fuck, I can't be bothered carrying the bag again. So he walks in there and he walks to the shop, and he's like, oh, the push buggies, push buggies are banned from all golf courses at the moment. I want to grab a buggy, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, well, technically we're not allowed to let you pay for them. So, but if you don't pay, you can just take one.
Yeah, not surprised. I was there today, and they had about 20 of them just lined up out the front. So, with the attachment, they fucking hide behind the desks all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, fair income. They've got that many fucking bookings going on at golf courses at the moment, right? You think the least they could do is just say, do you have your own fucking buggy? I mean, don't just fucking rent them. Let the people who have spent money on their fucking equipment use the facilities.
They're not renting. They're letting you take them.
But that's what I'm trying to say, is that people who've spent money on the equipment give them access to the course before you get fucking paid. They're fucked. Actually.
But yeah, it was a pisser. Not as good as most golf stories. I was just taking the par 5. Happy. I'm a par machine at the moment, Bonfz.
How many did you hit? You've hit 3 in the last week and a bit, have you?
Yeah, yep. 3 in 2 weeks.
Not a bad effort.
Take that. Better than none for a whole year, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Trades this week? You just still don't really know?
No. I'm actually pretty set at the moment. I'm just bring my team back up. Probably Tom Williamson out, Devon Smith out, and then one of King or Taylor out. Depending on what happens with Stephen Hill, because Stephen Hill might be in the mix there to be out as well. And the 3 ins will be Bailey Smith, Shannon Hearn, and Close.
And that's what I'm looking at the moment. Or I could be passing on Smith. I'm not too sure. Yeah. Vice captain capped.
Yep, going into Neil. I think we had that sorted.
So you're not going McRae into Gorm?
No, I think I'll take Gorn. I'll let my opponent risk McRae and see what happens. And look, hopefully he gets tempted by the 140 he might drop and takes that, and I might get a point advantage with Gorn.
And I'm going Neil into Grundy to bounce back and absolutely dominate that team. All right, well, that's all we've got time for because we're going to go do the cup draw. So on behalf of Bonfz, myself, Patreon's at patreon.com/SCElite. And Brett, who's always missing because he's a fucking piece of shit. Peace out, community, and thank you for watching/listening.